Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of Need I Say Myrrh, the Christmas podcast. And today, as we begin this new series, it's a joy and a delight to welcome back Mr. Christmas himself. It is Dan James. Hello, Dan.
Hello, Adam. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's very good to see you again. You are the only guest from Series 1 that we are inviting back. Lots of other people were interested, and they would have been great to have back, but sadly, we could only invite one person back. And you embody Christmas like no one else I've met. So that's why you're back. And it'd be good, actually, if you could introduce yourself for people who don't know you, when you're not providing Santa impersonations for Leicestershire. Who are you? Where are you? What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm Dan. I'm pastor of Ayers Monsell Community Church, which is a church in the very south of Leicester City. I'm married to Jamie, and we have an 8-year-old daughter called Aoife. There you go. That's what I do.
That is good. And it's exciting because your answer's changed since series one. Because
It
in the last
has.
series, you were about to do the kind of official launch of the church there in Esmonsal, and now that has happened.
Exactly. There now is one rather than hopefully one, which is great.
Yes. So this is the first official Esmonsal Community Church Christmas, which is
It is.
exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have particular plans for Christmas at the church?
Not especially, other than to just get people excited about the incarnation, rather than I think the churches have been in a lot of focus on a lot of evangelistic events and like celebrating Christmas with the community. We're still building our reputation in the community, so I want us to just be excited about the incarnation and what that means for us to be doing incarnational ministry in the estate. There you go. There's a phrase, but how we can live out what Jesus did for us.
Yeah, no, that's a great approach to have, and we hope that you have a good Christmas there, and we look forward to Series 3 when we'll get another update on how things are. I've been asking every guest the same questions, but we do have two bits of admin to get through first. Firstly, last series you provided the opening and closing Ho 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 Merry Christmas for the podcast,
Yeah,
and it'd be good to have some fresh recordings for
yeah.
Series 2. If you could do Ho 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 Merry Christmas, firstly, as previously as Santa himself, and then as Dan James, that'll be really helpful. Take it away.
Certainly. Okay, so here's Santa. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! And then as Dan James, ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas.
That's
How's
excellent.
that?
Possibly
Excellent. Yeah.
even better than Series 1. That's good. And the second bit of admin is because you are the only guest we're catching up with, it'd be good to know whether your opinions from Series 1 have changed over the last 12 months. So quickly to go through them. Food, you said your favorite festive food was sprouts. Is that still true?
That's probably accurate. Yeah. Think because it's
Yeah.
one of the few things you only eat really at Christmas. So
Okay.
that's why it's specifically my favorite festive food. Although I would say the other year, I remember this, we did have a croque bouche that Lidl did that was very
Mhm.
nice, which was basically profiterole stuck to a bit of cardboard. But it was lovely.
So you can make that at home yourself. Like you get lots of cardboard boxes and yeah. Okay. Favorite non-religious festive song was "It Feels Like Christmas" from A Muppet Christmas Carol. I assume that hasn't
Uh,
changed.
no, not at all. In
No.
fact, it would probably come up in today's questions if it was appropriate, but I don't think it is.
Christmas Eve traditions, maybe get to that.
Yeah, maybe.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah. Least favorite decoration, you said, and I quote, "Any tree that tries too hard to be pretty." Is that still your view?
Yeah, just don't try and be pretty. Be just be fun.
Just be fun. There we go. And your favorite person from the nativity account was Joseph, slightly edging above Mary. Is that still Joseph ahead of Mary?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, but between I just think it's well impressive in it to just do what he did in faith and then just disappears from the Bible. I'm like, you have 12 years later they turn up losing Jesus in Jerusalem and then he's gone, but he's just this man who's
Yeah.
faithful. Yeah, I love him.
There we go. So I'm glad that you are consistent. So we're going to find out your opinions on some slightly different questions this year. And we'll start with your favorite Christmas decoration. So you don't like pretty trees.
No.
Well, what is your favorite Christmas decoration?
So if you're gonna go like broad generic stuff, I think tinsel's great. I think a Christmas without tinsel is sad, and I know you're not a fan of tinsel. I happen to think tinsel is vital. My wife and I argue about this every year, and we find a compromise in which with a sum, so therefore I win. So I really like tinsel. I think you need tinsel somewhere. It looks festive, it looks pretty, it's look nice. Um, if you want a specific Christmas decoration, I can send you a picture of it when we get our stuff out of the loft and put it up. We bought some glass baubles from like this little collection of four that dangle down from Whitby a few years ago that spell out Noel or Noel, I guess it should be really, not Noel.
Just love Deal or No Deal, don't you?
Just love it. It's more his house party. That is very pretty, and that dangles in our kitchen, and I quite like it. And that reminds us of a lovely holiday to Whitby. We go there every Christmas with my parents just for a weekend at the start of December. So there's lots of happy memories tied up with that, and it's quite a pretty decoration. But for our tree, we buy new decoration. If we do something significant during the year, we buy a new decoration at that thing if we can find one.
Mhm.
So this year's been quite a big year in the James house. Both me and my wife have turned 40, and
Wow.
so we've had a few bits of traveling here and there, and so we've bought a few extra Christmas decorations wherever we've gone. And so I kind of like whichever one I've bought fresh that year because it reminds you of that, and we
Hmm.
love putting them up and remembering where we bought them and thinking about them and the
Hmm.
memories that they give us, which is why our tree is so varied and full.
Yeah, but it's similar to our tree that we each of us gets a new Christmas decoration each year, and it's not quite the same that we don't necessarily get it from some significant place, but it's still a reminder of like that year, and
Yeah,
they sometimes, especially with the children, reflect what they were interested in that year, which will change over time, but it's still fun
yeah.
to look back, isn't it? Yeah. And tinsel, obviously, you're already kicking off again the big debate, which I
I'm
assume will
sorry,
be the big debate of this series. So it had to happen at some point. So I'm glad that
it
you can
did.
mention it in episode one of the new
Excellent.
series to get it out. Yeah, I don't think you need tinsel, but anyway, if you want tinsel, that's fine.
I just think I agree with you. You don't need it, but everything's improved by it. It's a bit like a bacon. I think bacon will improve most foods, but you don't need it with every food. But
No.
if you add bacon to, I mean, savouries, obviously puddings, it would ruin. But most savoury foods,
Yeah.
bacon will improve. The same with tinsel.
Yeah, I think bacon would improve tinsel. Um, but there we go. That's good. We should move on quickly before we get caught up in tinsel to food.
Yeah.
So obviously you love sprouts. You'll
Mm.
notice that most of these questions are just the opposite of last year.
It's good. It's a theme.
Who's who's your least favorite person in the nativity account? Um,
Herod.
Herod. Yeah, it's quite a popular answer, isn't it? So your least favorite festive food?
I'm going to say one that maybe I don't know whether this is a festive food or whether it just appeared in our house. Bread sauce. Is that a thing that people have
It
at
is. Yeah, it
Christmas?
is a thing. Yeah.
What's the point? Just have some bread. But we just don't even have it in, so it doesn't exist. But one that is kind of everywhere at Christmas that I just can't stand, and I don't stand at any time of the year when it appears with different type of covering is Christmas cake. I'm
Okay.
not into your dark, intense fruit cakes. Give me something chocolate, give me a sponge, give me a panettone. But Christmas cake is just disappointing. It's not sweet enough. And it's just, yeah, I think that'll be a controversial answer. I think people will disagree with me because I know people love it.
I think they will, yeah. So I think bread sauce that's not too controversial. Although in saying you should just have bread, I mean it doesn't have the same consistency, of course, as bread sauce. So there's some
True.
situations where bread sauce cannot simply be replaced with bread. Yeah, Christmas cake. The main reason to have Christmas cake is surely for like the icing and the marzipan. Um,
Exactly. I do like the icing. That's the only bit I'd eat. My wife and I would, I think if she had a slice of Christmas cake, I have her icing and she has the cake. But I'd much rather a panettone or a mince pie.
I think that will be controversial, and I will say that we do welcome correspondence on this podcast, as you know very well, Dan. So need I say Myrrh at gmail.com, need I say Myrrh at gmail.com, and we can share those at a future correspondence episode. We should move on to Christmas Eve traditions. What are your Christmas Eve traditions in the James household?
So we always, a tradition inherited from Jamie's family is we have a chicken pie with mashed potato on for our Christmas Eve tea. And we'll do the usual things that families do, where we put a drink out for Father Christmas and a mince pie and a carrot. And in our house, Father Christmas likes whiskey, which is always a benefit to me. And then usually my wife's brother is staying with us, so me and him will sit out on our decking and have a fire pit and sit with her and put the world to right for a few hours. Um, but we started a thing last year called, well, it's an Icelandic tradition that you might have heard of through the internet called Jólabókaflóð, which means book flood, where basically you give each other a gift on Christmas Eve, which is a book, and then you sit and you read a book. for an hour or so on Christmas Eve, and we did that last year, and that was very good. I got the Ghosts, the TV series Ghost book, about
Okay.
just about how they made the film, which was quite enjoyable. So we're going to redo that again this year. My daughter loves
Hmm.
reading, my wife loves reading, Jamie's brother loves reading. So yeah, that's been a nice tradition. Just sit around and read with a bit of Christmas music on. Um,
Hmm.
and then because all my family go to sleep way before I do, and I'm up on my own because I don't sleep a lot. I made my own tradition of I tend to watch the Jim Carrey A Christmas Carol every year around about 10 o'clock at night. I just pop that on, and we'll watch that until I get sleepy, which is
Hmm.
a little personal tradition that I have in my house.
Okay. I like the I think I have heard about the Icelandic book tradition somewhere on the internet. But that's a good tradition to have, isn't it? Do you ever do reading out loud or is it silent reading?
Usually silent reading. Well, we'll read out loud to my daughter at bedtime, and we do
Hmm.
that every night pretty much anyway. I love reading stories out loud, so she doesn't get away with not having a story read to her. And then so she will do a couple of Christmassy books with me or Jamie over the festive period, which will there's a few kids books that she reads one bit of a day over the Advent.
Hmm.
Little Mouse's Big Adventure, I think, is this one. It's quite nice. There's crafts in it. It's very festive. It's very nice. And then I will also, over the Christmas period, I'll read to her A Christmas Carol, because I like to get some
Hmm.
culture in there. And I like to do the
Yeah.
voices, usually Kermit the Frog.
Yes, I was going to ask whether they were the Muppet voices. Do you
Yeah.
add the songs in as well?
Only completely a cappella. That's fine.
There we go. We should come to the last question,
Mm,
which is a musical question,
it is.
um, and it is about your favorite Christmas carol.
This is I found this really hard because obviously favorite Christmas song, it feels like Christmas, full stop
Yeah,
from Up the
yeah,
Christmas Carol.
that's fine.
That's
Yeah.
irrelevant. Yeah, that's there. Um, yeah, I've only recently learned to like Christmas carols.
Okay.
For a while, I think I got so frustrated because I'm a guitarist. Playing
Mhm.
Christmas carols is impossible because there's a chord every syllable, and I always found them incredibly hard and tiring. But they're great. But yeah, so I really like some of the old carols. Hark the Herald is an absolute banger.
That's
Great
it.
lyrics in
Yeah.
it. Um, I really love Thou Who Wast Rich Beyond All Splendor, which
Hmm.
is I don't know how well known it is. It's not no well known in the circles I move in now, but I
Okay.
grew up singing it.
It's quite well
Um,
known here. Yeah.
okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually have weirdly, Adam, I have here a Christian hymns book, which
Oh, yes,
which has it in, which is an Evangelical Movement of Wales, one of them.
indeed.
It's
Yep.
not showing up on the screen, but so doesn't surprise me. It's popular in Wales.
Yep.
Um, but I really like that one. And then there are two modernish ones that I really love by Sovereign Grace. They do one called God Made Low, which is all about Emmanuel come to dwell with us. But also, I do really love "O Come All You Unfaithful," just
Hmm.
how Christ was born for the people, the least, the last, and the lost, the people who feel rejected and hurting and bruised. That's who Jesus came for. And so, yeah, they're probably four that I love. I'd be hard pushed to choose one. Sorry.
But if I did push you to choose one right here, right now.
Uh, the one I'm most excited about singing with my church this Christmas
Mhm.
would be "O Come All You Unfaithful."
Mhm. There we go. We'll take that
Right?
as your final answer.
There you go.
Yeah, and I hope that's an encouragement as you sing it this Christmas. That yeah,
Thank you.
a
Yeah,
reminder
me
of
too.
that Jesus came for people like us,
Yeah.
in all our different situations and all our different messes and whatever our hopes and fears are, that He came for us.
Mm.
So yeah, that's great. Thank you, Dan,
Pleasure. Thanks for having me.
and we look forward to season three, and we hope that you have a very happy Christmas.
Nadolig llawen y blwydd newydd dda. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas.